with clever meme, with funny tweet, I'll never leave my office seat. Those who think they know what's right, listen on Sundays to NetHeads, all right?
No one listens to the radio. I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts.
Start talking about nerd stuff. You know, nerd culture is mainstream now. So when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek, giving you the info you need to achieve mega nerd status. NetHeads.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
Playing the drama up with the intro there. You see, letting it play out.
Yeah.
Trent heard the intro this week, so now he knows we're here.
Yeah,
So
the show has started.
It has. We're officially going. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of NetHeads. My name is Will.
I'm Trent.
And we are coming at you live from the internets into your something or other. I don't know. What are we coming into?
Their ears.
Good. Oh boy, after I said that, I did not realize the door I had opened.
Yeah.
Until you actually didn't jump on it, and I'm proud of you.
Well, but in my mind, like, everyone's got just like a puddle in their ear. They're all going to get ear infections.
Okay. Well, yeah. All righty then.
I love puddle. Puddle in their ears.
Not to be confused with a shower flower. By the way, Trent, I got to tell you, first of all, if you're listening to this, great. Welcome. Thank you. If you want to take part in the program, you can. One of wedding ways. Let me try that again. If you want to take part in the program, you can one of many ways.
There we go.
As a matter of fact, we don't even need Trent to really say them when it comes to telephone or Skype, because if you're watching the video YouTube linkage thingamajiggy there, then what you can do is you can just do NetHeads on air via Skype, or you can call us 866-610-9455, or YakBet9020, as we like to call it. At least that's what I think it is. That's what the kids are calling it.
Well, that's what I call it.
Also, if you're listening live on Sir, even though you can't do it right now, that's why you're still seeing the title, because you'd see there. Hi. You'd see me looking at a computer. I'm just actually plugging us in also on the live YouTube page over at smodcast.com.
Okay, that's why I was like, I want to link it, but I can't.
I don't know what's wrong with him.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's smodcast.com / and I think live-video, because we wanted to make sure. I don't know why it's not just live. That would make a lot more sense.
Well, because you also have like Smodcast Live, like when they go and sit down.
Oh,
as Smodcast live show.
I like the way where you put it right on Front Street, where they go and sit down.
Yeah. In front of people.
None of us really stand up. But you actually, if you that's the most important, one of the most important places you go on smodcast.com actually is just I think it's events for that one. Like there's
live shows it's called.
As a matter of fact, I think we're just a few days away from me finally being able to see Yoga Hosers, I think.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah, there are 2 live shows coming up. One of them is at the Improv in San Jose. That's the first one. And in my area, and then there's the fall just a couple days later in San Francisco at, I think, Cobb's Comedy Club
up there in NorCal.
Yeah, is another one. So there's 2 showings of Yoga Hosers coming to our area soon. I think they just hit North Carolina.
Do those now? Does that include a Q&A afterwards?
Would it be a Kevin Smith screening without?
Well, I mean, because on the release day, there's going to be, a lot of screenings, in like hundreds of theaters.
That's true. There are. And the interesting thing that I didn't know, but thank God, because it sounds like an absolute nightmare otherwise, is that, they're running a special Q&A after the movie but it's not a live Q&A. It's from a previous Q&A.
I think it's already happened, hasn't it?
I think if you look on some special page somewhere, it says something about it being the North Carolina one, or I think the Durham Q&A. But who knows? Who knows? They may change their mind in the interim and shoot. I don't know. I have nothing to do with the film division, Trent.
Right. Yeah.
I have very little to do with the podcast division as well. So
shh, don't tell anyone that.
Well, Trent, I feel I need to move forward with love in my heart, Trent, and I can't have that unless I'm honest or a polygamist, I guess.
Sure. But then it's love in a lot of people's hearts and
ears. It is. But Trent, let me tell you something. In the afterlife, in the celestial temple, is that the term that I heard? I don't remember. Everything I know about Mormonism is based off of big love, which unfortunately is the way we all really know of it, right?
Yeah.
Except for you have firsthand knowledge.
Yeah. But well, and that's like their version of Mormonism is like saying that ISIS is the be all for Muslims.
Yeah, exactly. Which it is not. I mean, just like all Christian people aren't members of the KKK.
Right.
I have no idea.
Well, I mean, they say they're not.
Hey,
come
buddy,
on now.
I am.
Fool me once, shame on you.
I don't think that's how it works on this case. In this case,
fair enough.
All right, hold on. I'm going to do I've been stalling. I'm going to do a paste there. I'm going to do an apply. We're going to do a save, Trent. This is some of the stuff, by the way, my wife tells me is the best part of NetHeads.
Shout outs to DC Cantel. That's the Tesdy Termite and that fracking cat, both listening live and using the hashtag NetHeads.
Right on. And smodcast.com/live-video features us right now. So there you go. Got that all out of the way. Trent, we are a tech podcast.
Mm-hmm.
At least if you listen to the intro of the program.
Intro does say that. It's true.
And kind of tying into last week we got really... we went to an interesting place when we went into Trent's Corner, actually. I've been thinking about it, and I don't want to say I've been envious.
Well, it's okay. You can.
But Trent's just been, he's been playing the video games.
Oh, yeah.
Been reading the comic books.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, listen to him. As a matter of fact, you had the best Facebook update out of anyone I know this week in reference to other people versus you. You want to expand on that one?
Dude, so on Saturdays... So Utah, like everyone in Utah is like pretty active. Like, I've got one friend that's a professional cyclist. My boss hosted a professional like race that he puts on and everything this week. My uncle rode a century race on his bicycle. I got friends running marathons, and like every Saturday, it's just I wake up to these posts that have already happened. So people are doing shit.
What time are you waking up when you read those posts, Trent?
Oh, like at 11 o'clock. You know what I mean? And so they've already done quite a bit for the day. You know, they rode 100 miles on their bicycle already. And
not only that, Trent, they've rode 100 miles on their bicycle, and they're getting on to the next thing to do that day.
Yeah. And they're going to go clean their yard or something.
God damn it. And it's not because they want to get something else done. You know what it really is, Trent? They just want to say, oh, yeah, well, I bicycled 100 miles on my bike, and then I got home, raked up the yard. You know what? I just went ahead and I swapped out an entire transmission as well, because I'll be goddamned if I'm gonna sit around and do nothing.
Yeah. Devil's that's idle hands. The devil's workshop, you know.
Exactly, and so it's not to better themselves. It's just so they sound better than us.
Well, and to be honest, they probably are. But
I wasn't going to say it, but I knew you would.
As I was playing video games today, I was thinking yesterday, and I was like, so basically, when I'm playing video games, I'll have like, depending on where I'm at, if I'm playing in front of my TV, I'll have a laptop right here. Most of the time, so I can figure out the moves and stuff and practice stuff on there and look stuff up. But I've also got all my social media streams up at the same time too. And I'm sitting there playing, and I see all these things coming through, and I'm just like, man, what did I do with my Saturday? And that's when I nailed a sweet ultra combo ultimate atomic buster finishing move with Zangief, and I felt like, you know what? I'm doing all right.
There you go, man. It's
I'm
all
doing okay. Yeah.
It's all perspective, Trent.
Yeah,
That's all
totally.
it is. Because you know what? Look at all the time and learning that was invested in that.
Oh my gosh, so much time.
And not to mention the physical dexterity and discipline.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes you have to take a break from sitting there for so long.
Yeah, I know, man. You're like, wow, that's an odd pain near my tailbone. I should really move.
That sciatica is really acting up today. I should go do something.
Yeah, Trent, I would sit there in judgment of you, but if you look here on my mobile phone, if you're looking at the video,
oh shit,
that's
is this the Pokemon?
Oh, here's the music too.
It's the Pokemon.
Yeah, it is right there, Trent. That's the Pokey. That's me apparently attempting to catch them all.
Yeah.
How's it going? I'll tell you what, I have found, for those of you that don't know, we're talking about Pokemon Go because everyone else is.
Yeah, because it broke the internet.
It really did, but I'll tell you why. I did not load it because I wanted to play another video game on my smartphone. I loaded it up, and I think other people have as well, out of just straight up intellectual curiosity. Because when something is that popular, and when you see people on the internet that you wouldn't be expecting to talk about something,
right?
And they are, suddenly you're like, hey, wait a second, what am I missing? So I thought I would take a look at it. Now, why don't you tell everyone, Trent, what you have heard of the Pokemon Go?
Well, not a whole lot. I've never really been into the Pokemon, but from what I've been told, the servers haven't been able to carry the load.
Yeah, and for those of you wondering what it is, it's a mobile phone game. You can play it on your smartphone, your Android, or your iOS. And what they're attempting to do is they're kind of cashing in on all of the stuff that has gone before us in the card or in the Nintendo video game realm of Pokemon, and they've taken it to an alternate reality realm. So they can work in conjunction with your GPS and with maps, and then integrate this virtual reality world into your real reality world. So much so that, like, when you're trying to catch Pokemon, because part of the thing about this is that I don't know what we're going to do about this, Trent. It's a video game that encourages children or people, not children. Well, we're all children at heart.
Yeah.
But it encourages us to get up and go outside.
Don't like it already.
And keep moving. Now, I will tell you, though, in the time that I've loaded it, if you just happen to have it running on your smartphone when you're running errands in the car, you can get all over the place and capture some Pokemon with very little actual physical effort.
So like, is there like, is it the same for everybody? Like, so I know, so that like when you find out, oh, the bodega down on the corner has the best Pokemon you can catch down there, and then all of a sudden everyone goes there.
Or is it, yeah. So if you want to get into video game nomenclature, obviously we're dealing with a large alternate reality game that also appears to be a massive multiplayer game as well. And it is. There are physical, there are other attributes that also happen in the physical world. Like certain buildings can just be a little place you can go for power-ups. Other real building locations in the world around us can be designated as gyms where you go and you fight your Pokemon, and you know.
So this is like a ginormous revenue then builder, right? So
somehow it's free right now, but
no, but I mean, as far as like, let's say I want to bring people into my comic book store. So let's say in an alternate universe, Death Ray Comics succeeded, and I'm running a comic book store. I then pay Nintendo to put my place as like a battleground.
Oh, fuck yeah. Definitely.
Or get like a special Pokemon that you can only get at my comic book store.
And then and then the great thing is, you know, every one of these people because they're walking into your shop, looking at your phone. I'll tell you what, Trent, one of the first things you need to do, shave off the beard, go with the full Van Dyke. You're now in the alternate reality. Go walk to Death Ray Comics, man.
That's exactly what I would do.
Just do it. Let's see if it works. Fuck it. Why not? What else do we have to lose?
The darkest reality, Will.
Sorry, I love you, Trent, and I apologize. You know, I'm
the darkest reality.
So one of the things you were hitting on, what I was trying to get at, is that one of the things you're talking about is like the spawn rate. Are things does the same thing spawn in the same place?
Yeah,
Does it
yeah.
spawn there for everybody? Because that's what happens. You know, the game tells you that there are Pikachu, or not Pikachu, there are Pokemon in the area that could be found.
Yeah.
Case in point, last night I went to the Harvest Time Festival here in Brentwood to listen to the 80s music band, the Long Duck Dongs, Trent.
Oh, wait.
Is that not
cover? Are they a cover band of just like 16 Candles stuff?
No, they did all of the 80s. I would have appreciated if they all came out in Argyle sweaters and loafers, but
Totally, man.
But no, they were more embracing the whole 80s thing.
Okay, fair enough.
But you know, I caught like 3 Pokemon just walking around there around the whole
shit.
festival. Yeah, so it's interesting. I could see the allure, and I can see some benefit too if it like involves getting people out of the house and into sunshine, because that's
It's
actually a very beneficial thing, I hear.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Like, there was a girl in Wyoming that happened upon a dead body while she was capturing Pokemon.
Yes, this is true, actually. I read about that earlier. I mean, there are a few things. There have even been people like one guy tweeted a screen capture saying, "I just jumped into somebody's backyard to catch a Rattata," or something like that. I don't know. I want to find a Pikachu. That's all I know.
Is that like the one to get?
I have no idea. I don't. Okay, I'm with you. I really don't know anything of the Pokemon.
Yeah.
I think actually Ken Plume summed it up best in a Facebook tweet last night, where it was a screen capture of the closed Pokeball.
Okay.
And by the way, wonderful naming convention. No wonder this was so big with preteen boys. You know, do you have your Pokeball?
Yeah.
Anyway, I was it was a picture of that, and he's like, "What has transpired? Have I now captured this animal's soul? What type of tyrant am I?"
We'll see. And so Pokemon is different than Digimon, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Like, wasn't Digimon like those little pets?
I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware
like
there was going to be a test
there's
today.
Like a keychain, and you'd have to feed them at certain times.
No, I'm thinking of the Tamagotchi when you say that.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
In like an egg-shaped keychain?
Yes, yeah. That.
Dude, by the way, that is one of the for a while there, I hear that was one of the biggest hipster things to have.
Oh, like to retroactively.
Yeah, and it's a real pisser because, you know, I actually had just found one and like disposed of it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I could have
like, what the fuck?
I could have built some hapless 20-something for this thing here. God damn it.
Oh man.
Freaking retro tech. Anyway, so I'm not very familiar with the Pokemon, but it's like everybody is talking about Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And you know, and I could see some parents using it as a tool to get their kids outside.
Well,
But,
I mean,
but you know, finding a dead body wasn't, I'm sure, something Nintendo intended.
no, but gosh, think of the reward points.
Yeah, she got a hell of a bit of experience points there. Ooh, that's the kind of XP I don't want.
I was just gonna say, are there is she now a healer? Does she become like? Does she get like? Is she a necromancer now?
No, nor was she a member of the priest class, so there was no resurrection and no summon. I'm sorry, Trent. I think those are some of the gamiest things I've ever said on the show. I have to say, to be very fair, it is interesting the way that it can make the regular world around you into something special. So, I mean, I can see this happening many different places where one spouse or the other is very bored at the event.
Oh,
And
sure, yeah.
I mean, you know, hell, I don't know whether this was a good thing or a bad thing. I got a screenshot of me capturing something, and it was like right next to my daughter. I figured that's good parenting. I'm defending her from this digital thing that can never actually hurt her.
Oh, for sure. Well, that we know of. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Maybe it's just it has different vibrations that we can't see, you know?
Well, my other thing about this is I always wonder which one of these games is going to be the game that has actually been submitted under the radar by our robot overlords, like kind of like that Star Trek The Next Generation game. You remember where they would put on the little headset that kind of look weirdly like
Yes.
Google Glass, and then you just get every time you got the disc in the funnel, it felt better and better. And
I do remember that actually.
yeah, or you know, there's one. I think one of the other things I found in my photo library while I was going through it was a picture that I took on one of the last commuter trains that I had taken, commuter rides, and it was literally it was a shot and then a shot a second later, and it was a shot of everybody but this one guy with his bicycle in the train car, all of them looking down at their phones. Except the guy with the bicycle. And then in the very next photo, you can see, oh, that was because he was trying to get it out of his pocket.
He was looking for his phone.
Now everybody's face down. But
that's awesome.
It's going to be, I mean, isn't that going to be the next great menace, you think?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, all people not paying attention. I mean, there's even, I think, was a police station in either Dublin or somewhere in Australia. Take your pick.
Yeah.
I know,
yeah,
I understand.
They are exactly the same.
And of course, so close to one another as well.
Geographically, neighbors.
My good friend Trent from Idaho, by the way.
Yes.
So the police station actually had to do a posting on the door informing people you don't actually have to come in to get the Pokemon. Another person posted something from another business that said, sorry, Pokemon for paying customers only.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I saw someone posted that. The Onion had a funny article about, just the irony of being like, in an adverse reaction, children are now exercising while playing video games.
Yeah, then they don't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't understand.
It was the side effects of sore legs.
It's one of those things that I think is genius. I really thought, aside from the technical limitations of the video, I thought some of the stuff we saw from the early Nintendo Wii was a great idea to get people up and moving.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Of course, it didn't really kick off. Interestingly enough, though, the people that may have really cracked the nut on this one are the Pokemon people, because they're both able to collect on the younger audience as well as the retro audience.
Oh, yeah. Well, and so this isn't new technology. The latest game that came out for the DS and 3DS was this way, but not. And they have had GPS stuff in the past where you could and also share Pokemon and stuff like that, game points. In fact, when Jordan Todd Brown was living with me, I remember walking in to his room once, and he had his DS and said, "Don't move. There's a Pokemon right next to you," and it had video capability, so it was doing the same thing then.
So none of this shit's new to you.
Well, I mean, it's new that it's on mobile now, and they're not forcing you to buy. And Nintendo is one that has held a very, very tight rein on their properties. There is no way to play Mario video games for the most part unless you have a Nintendo. They're very protective of their IP, and so they're not. This is huge that they've actually put it out there on mobile. And I would only expect that something's got to be coming down the line that is then going to, buy into this same, I don't know, zeitgeist that then just prints a bunch of money for themselves.
Oh man, I can't even begin to imagine. Not to mention, like, pretty soon somehow it's gonna cash in with the cash in your phone. So suddenly keywords are gonna be directing you to rare Pokemon near stores of your apparent interests.
Yep. That you're like, shit, I do need a new pair of socks.
It's such a handy thing that Sock Palace just happens to be.
Yeah. Why not get a pallet of socks?
Trent, speaking about making money, I gotta tell you, one of the cool things about when you have money is being able to spend it. And one of the places I like to spend it, and I'm not shitting you guys, it's with the Blue Apron.
Oh, okay, yeah, you do the Blue Apron.
The Blue Apron, I think it's an amazing thing, and I'm not shitting you guys here. Look, one of the things I made the other day that my family loved, and I've said this once, and I'll say it 100 times about Blue Apron. One of the coolest things about this is afterwards you have these recipe cards.
Oh yeah,
right?
Wow. Oh, so after, like, even if you didn't get that same thing again, you could make it again.
You could, yeah. So you could, there's the ingredient list. For those of you not watching the video, I'm showing Trent the card.
Yeah.
Fontina cheeseburgers on ciabatta rolls, my friend, with dressed kale, by the way. I dressed the kale myself, Trent. I'm not teasing you. Dinner tonight.
If I've got to have kale, I like it in the buff, but that's fine.
So Trent, we talked about cheeseburgers, right? It's
Yes.
by the way, all these meals between 500 and 700 calories, I believe. And the cost per meal per plate, it works out really well, especially if you wind up with leftovers. Sometimes, well, we get 4. It's like you can do the 2 people or you can do family, and the family comes
yeah.
with 4, but we're not really a family of 4, even
Yeah,
though we
yeah,
are.
yeah. It's like 2 3/4 maybe.
Yeah, Blair's not eating spiced steaks and tomato avocado salad
Well, you're doing it wrong then, Will.
with creamy cone cabbage and red onion slaw, Trent. Doesn't
Yeah.
that sound delicious? But you say, hey, Will, I'm not really into the beef. Look at this, spiced turkey arrayas
Oh.
with garlic, almond, zucchini wedges, and lemon yogurt sauce. Okay, I lost you on that one. I understand.
Well,
completely.
it's you had me at beef.
Yeah. Well, and okay, and this one is mostly one where it's like the food your food eats. But I got to tell you, I just made these for lunch, Trent, because it was there. Zucchini and mozzarella pizza paninis with tomato
Ooh.
sauce and romaine cucumber salad. Look at them.
What's a panini?
That's where you take a sandwich and you press it between 2 hot grills.
I'm quoting Dr. Steve Brule, whose new season just started again. Check it out on Adult Swim.
What's a panini? Amazing meals, quick and easy to make. I mean, every one of them goes together in under an hour, is what I really like to say.
Yeah.
Some of them much less, like that. Those ciabatta burgers, and I think I made that one. See, it says prep time 15 minutes, and then your cook time is 25 to 35, and I made that in about an hour, so I wasn't too far off the mark.
Yeah.
Best of all, folks, if you go to netheadsonair.com, you click the Blue Apron link, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get free food.
I like free.
If you've never signed up for Blue Apron before, you get 2 meals on us. That's 2 nights of food. And guess what? The shipping is free. I know. Trent's just like, this all really sounds great, Will. Why am I not getting the Blue Apron?
I was like, shit, I need to do this.
Maybe you should. It could work out. Because if you think about it, Trent, even though and this is one of the ways you can stretch the dollar that you use on your Blue Apron.
Yeah.
You're a man of 1 at the moment.
Yes.
I know you have roommates and stuff, but
yeah.
But still, if you wanted to, you could cook this.
Fuck them.
Exactly what I'm saying. Fuck them. You cook it once for you, right? And then the next day, since it's 2 servings, you got your lunch the next day.
Yeah.
And who made it? You made it. Your own.
I'm not adverse to leftovers, my friend.
You put your love into it, Trent. That's the point. And you served it up fresh to
Gross. I don't want to eat it now if I put my love into it.
I understand completely. But folks, netheadsonair.com, click the Blue Apron link. Get 2 free meals on us. And for God's sakes, feed yourself.
Yeah.
That's what their motto should be.
Feed yourself.
Feed yourself.
And then you get shit, what's her name? To be your spokesperson from Parks and Rec.
Yeah. It's one name too.
I want to say it's Renee or
close enough.
I don't remember.
Well, you could get her, you could get Aziz.
Yeah. Or both of them.
Anything that guy says is entertaining.
Yeah.
No one listens to the radio. I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts. Podcasts are great. Radio's boring.
Aziz, I'm sorry, everybody.
Radio's boring.
Yeah, this Pokemon thing, I don't know. I think it's going to take over the world.
It might, dude.
I really do. By the way, those of you watching the video, we're in my Hollywood Babylon t-shirt because Babble's back, baby.
Oh.
Going to be dropping a new one tonight.
Finally.
The 250th podcast of Hollywood Babylon.
No shit, really.
Kid you not. Not much pomp and circumstance, but all there, baby.
Yeah.
It's a whole show.
Well, dude, I mean, and not, this isn't to discredit anyone, but also to applaud ourselves. We're in the triple digits.
Oh yeah, this one's 217, Trent. Oh,
yeah,
by the
dude,
way,
like this isn't no shit and pony show.
No, man, we're not. Well, I don't know what that is, but I'm sure if you want to Google shit and pony show,
don't do it, folks.
I wouldn't encourage it.
Fool me once, shame on you.
Watch out for that, folks. Watch out for the shit and whatever he said.
Yeah, shit and pony show.
No, I mean, yeah, okay. We're not here to. Well, actually, we kind of are here to fuck around, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean,
but we've been consistent at it.
Yeah. Well.
And then, dude, if you take into account Radio Askew, you've been doing a consistent podcast for quite a long time, man.
Well, again, I wouldn't exactly say consistent.
Well,
but...
I would.
Hey, by the way, I've been meaning to talk to you about something. Recently, I had to undergo a little bit of a project thing. Oh, and also I want to talk about the show titles too, because screwed that up. Folks, I was so impressed with Captain America Civil War. I wanted to do one of the nerdiest things I could possibly conceive of.
Okay.
And so it was very simple. I was going to take each one of the Winter Soldier's activation words.
Right.
And I was going to make them a title for the show.
Uh-huh.
Now, in order for that to be, most people look at your podcast list in a descending order, though. So if you wanted the activation words to be read in the appropriate order, you also had to release the show titles in reverse.
Reverse, exactly, yeah.
Well, last week I screwed it up and I grabbed the wrong word in a hurry. So fuck that plan. We're done.
Well, never mind.
I'm not going back and renaming. That's too much effort.
Valiant effort, though.
So it was, well, not really. It's just us using words. Really. Yeah. I mean, most of the time when it comes to finally getting time to process the podcast, I've already forgotten what we've talked about, which really makes that wonderful search engine optimization we talked about a really fun thing. The coolest thing, actually, there used to be a time when Trent would take like notes of words that we did during the show.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
And then he gave up because nobody was using them.
That's right. I totally forgot we did that. Maybe I'll do that again.
Sometime when you're not working on the doodles or the diagrams, but that's just you honing another craft. I have
good idea.
I have nothing against that at all. But so what was I going to say before the show titles, though? We're going to talk about something else that you brought up.
Stuff?
No. It was literally just moments ago. But that's okay, because then what I can just do, I've always got at my fingertips, Trent, the fast and easiest way for me to get out of not remembering what to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Huh? Sure.
Trent's Corner.
Ew, what's that?
I don't want to do this, but I'm going to anyway. What is in Trent's Corner?
Anyway, every once in a while, we like to dip our toe in all of these long and boring podcast episodes that we have over pontificated about now already. We like to check in on Trent because I talk too much, typically speaking, even though we kind of did, because we know you're still video gaming and stuff. But is anything in your corner you want to talk about today, good sir?
Give you an update, man.
Oh, well, we already heard about that super rare move you pulled off.
Well, if you go to my Instagram page, I posted a picture last night. Like people make jokes about, oh, you've been doing something so long, you must have calluses. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Dude, I legit have a blister on my thumb from playing Street Fighter. Like,
wow.
A for realsies blister on my thumb. I've never had that happen from playing video games before.
Okay, but, let's first understand the mechanics of what happened here. So there was so much friction at a certain part of your finger.
Yep.
That you then created a heated layer and damaged the skin.
Yep.
And that resulted in that wonderful water bubble.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I've it's from trying these special moves in Street Fighter. So
Trent, these are not meant for everybody. Okay.
And so I'm sitting there like, going half circle, back circle, half circle, quarter circle, ABC, and then just over and over and over and over until eventually my body had enough. Will.
Wow. First of all, sir, take another swig of that beer. You, sir, are a champion. You have earned that drink. Secondly, I just have to say, I think you may have given me a new pattern for some other activities. So what was that again? It was that half circle, half circle,
quarter circle, ABC, all the same time. So,
well, I would have to do them in subsequent order, but I think that could come in handy. I'll remember that half circle, quarter circle, ABC.
End it with a swirl.
Counter swirl. Don't do the counter swirl. Just do the swirl. Don't go crazy.
Speaking of which, Curb Your Enthusiasm's getting another season, my friend.
I heard about that.
Yes.
I have not even seen the last season of Curb.
Oh, the last season is so great because they do a lot of the season is based around doing a Seinfeld reunion show.
Oh, okay.
And it's great because you pretty much get to see another episode of Seinfeld.
Well, and that's I don't know if I can handle that kind of meta-ness though, especially considering Jason Alexander's character was based off of kind of Larry David.
And they play into that quite a bit as to how no one likes George as a character.
Oh, and then of course Larry has to get,
upset about it and defend him, and and on top of that, they own the racist remarks that were made by the guy that plays Kramer, Michael Richards. Yes, they make an allusion to that and make a fun, like, whoa, don't do that type joke to it as well.
Oh wow, they went there.
Yeah, they did. No, but they did it taste like it's really good.
Let's face it. At this point, what does Michael Richards have to lose?
Yeah, exactly. So it was,
and that wasn't even this point. What, the last season of Curb was 3 or 4 years ago now?
Yeah. Season 8 was, I think that long ago. Yeah.
So glad I haven't gotten around to it yet. In my defense, one of the things I've been doing is actually getting a season behind on something, so that way when it comes out, I can binge through it.
I dig it that way. I really do.
Right now, my wife and I are in the middle of the 3rd season of Orange is the New Black.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good season.
And the 4th one just dropped. And the funniest thing that I experienced hitting around the halfway mark, is I remember you telling me about this season, because I said, by the end of the 2nd season, I was just so sick of Piper's character.
Yep.
The way she was behaving. And then it's almost like she was virtually non-existent in the first half.
Yeah.
No. Well, but there was so many strong characters. But that's a great show to watch. By the way, another thing too that I think is I found interesting, and it relates to you, Trent, because well, shortly before it was clear that it was going nowhere, you had had an amazing time viewing all 13 episodes of Constantine.
Oh God, I know, dude. Yes.
And lately, it's just interesting to see how news is picked up and how it transpires, because over the last 2 days, I saw something transition to, hey, here's a cool thing you can check out, to Constantine may have another chance at the CW. And then you read this kind of gets back to last episode where we're talking about it's so hard to find decent journalism nowadays.
Right. Yeah.
Folks, the only thing that's happened that is very cool is if you did not get a chance to watch Constantine during its run on NBC, the CW Seed, which is kind of like their they call it an off-air channel.
Right.
But in this case, you just need to get the CW Seed app, which, by the way, what fucking kind of name is CW Seed? I don't want anyone's seed.
Like CEED. Is it an acronym for something?
I don't know. Or maybe it's because that's where you go to seed it. I don't know.
Or I hope not. Oh God, I hope not.
Let me rephrase that. That did not go the way I intended. Yeah, but the CW Seed is it's their app. So that's where they seed content too. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And like they had an original cartoon there, I think, that was Vixen, another DC character. Maybe. And they also that's where I don't remember what else I watched there. It doesn't matter. The whole point is that the Constantine episodes, all of them suddenly are on the CW Seed.
Oh, so the article was speculative
at best.
Gosh.
So but 2 days prior to those articles popping up, what we're talking about is that suddenly there were quite a few articles that were saying that maybe Constantine was getting a season 2 pickup at the CW. But everybody was just speculating off of the original news stories I saw 2 days prior, where they just said, hey, one cool thing you can check out is that this amazing show is now available on the CW Seed. I mean, that's all that. So it was amazing how it changed.
Yeah.
The star of the show, he's already doing other stuff, but it is one of those things. If you didn't watch it during its NBC run, definitely now a chance to just catch what really was one of the. It was a great show, man.
It was so good.
But that was my problem with it, though. It was one of those shows where by the end of the first episode, I said it's too cool for NBC.
Yep. No, exactly. NBC doesn't know what to do with it. They don't know how to market it. I think it was running.
Didn't they also bury it on Friday night?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it was running opposite Grimm, which in my opinion is a very similar audience, but Grimm's had like what 8 seasons now.
I don't know. It's had a lot. It's had so many that I think the season before this. No, actually, I have been caught up on. I didn't watch last season. This one that just happened. You know, I got less and less time, so it's one of those things where I'll come back and binge it later. You know, it's just I've got to make those judgment calls. Yeah, I got a tween and I got a 2-year-old. I'm doomed. I mean. Yeah. There are only brief windows we're watching Orange is the New Black in, you know?
But these are great problems to have.
I think so. Don't get me wrong. I'll look at the Trent just coming in with the reality check there. Hey, buddy, you wanted this, remember? And I do. I love every minute of it. My God.
No, I was just attesting to like the golden age of television that we're in.
Oh, that too. Yeah, there's so much.
Like everything is just so good. It's like rarely have we ever had like this type of like friend pass to friend curation of just awesome stuff.
Case in point, Trent, my daughter, Emily, the eldest, as I call her. Right? We've got the eldest and the youngest now, so that's how I refer to them. Listen to me. God, even that sounds wrong. I didn't mean. Well, you know, I hardly interact with the children organisms, but what
the governess
I do,
takes care of that.
I refer to them as the eldest and the youngest. I say youngest, and she comes forth, and I issue my doctrines and send them away. No, that's not what I meant. But anyway, I'm just like in passing conversation. That's all.
Right.
I don't say eldest, come here, come forth. None of that. But my older daughter, she was really into the Hunger Games movies, so much so that opening night, Trent, I saw whatever the second part of the last movie was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Catching Fire Part 2, I think maybe. Sure. No, Catching Fire was the first one. I don't know, Trent.
That Catching Fire was what she told her mom happened on a toilet seat.
There are some things that I've mostly endured as a parent. One of them was watching the Hunger Games movies. The second was when Emily was recovering from the concussion and she was able to watch TV again. I watched all of the Twilight films, Trent.
Oh, shit, dude.
Yes, I did. I did it. I sat there, I grinned, and I watched it.
Dude, and I'm not being facetious. That's like Father of the Year type shit right there.
Well, you know, when you compare it against Steam video games and G.I. Joe comics, yes, those are like diametric opposites.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, so obviously, though, you got to start course correcting at some point. You got to start finding commonality.
Mix a little something in here, yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, look, my kid loves the Hunger Games movies. Because of that, she loves Jennifer Lawrence, okay? Sure.
And I mean, and let's be honest, who doesn't?
So much so that I even, like, she's seen the movie Joy, right? Where basically it's about Jennifer Lawrence selling mops.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
So she's a diehard fan. And then suddenly it dawns on me, Trent, you know what I haven't seen for a while? X-Men First Class.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And who happens to be in that?
One J Law.
J-Law.
Yeah,
we just refer to it. Look, in this house, Trent, we just call her J-Law, all right?
J-Law. Okay, sure.
But yeah, you know, J-Law making that J-Law Monet, if you will. And so my daughter was such a diehard fan that I was able to cash in on this. And like, for example, last night we just got done watching X-Men Days of Future Past, the Rogue cut.
Oh, what's that?
It's actually not as cool as I thought it was going to be, but it was interesting because you remember during Days of Future Past, I mean, you have seen that one, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, during that, there's a certain point where once Logan lays eyes on Trask, he kind of loses his shit, and Kitty Pryde ends up getting stabbed at that time.
Yes. By
Logan's claws, getting hurt pretty bad. Well, it turns out there was a variation in the story in which point Iceman himself says we got to go bust Rogue out so that Kitty can take she's not going to make it, which means we're not going to make it. We got no other choice. we got to go into Sentinel Central and get Rogue so she can, basically just like how in the first X-Men movie ever, Magneto was looking to use her to amplify his abilities.
His own power. Yeah.
So at this point, it was to allow Rogue to take over. And so it's just that. But the cool thing is the whole scene where originally Eric is busting into the Pentagon in order to get his helmet and keep Charles out of his head.
Yeah.
That's intercut with Magneto and Iceman busting into the mansion, basically.
Okay.
It's intercut with that. And then, of course, they end up saving Anna Paquin. They rescue her. And she takes over.
Suki.
Yeah, Suki.
Oh, Suki.
That's, by the way, how many seasons did you get through until that grew old?
Oh gosh.
I mean, you end up after you've watched all of True Blood. If you, by the way, binged it, all you're gonna do is walk around for at least I'm gonna say a good month, just offhandedly going, Suki. Anyway. So they have that footage, and there's a little bit of extra stuff. Like one of the reasons why they had to use Beast's recording of all 3 stations and PBS monitoring in order to figure out where what's her name would go. Because you think, oh, well, you could just fire up Cerebro. There was a whole thing where Mystique comes in and destroys Cerebro. So Charles
that was left out. Okay.
That was lifted too. So that's the additional footage. And that's it. Other than the fact that it's not Anna Paquin behind, or it is Anna Paquin behind Wolverine from that point forward in the movie.
Okay.
So they just had to do a little digital effectiveness to do that. And I think originally Magneto was given a portal to fall back through when the Sentinels are coming. But that's about it. But it was still an amazing watch. And my daughter loves the movies. So now I'm hoping...
Dude, that's good. Yeah.
I'm hoping Apocalypse is still in a theater somewhere. Because memory serves, I'm pretty sure I seem to recall it coming out a little while ago.
It did, yeah. I want to say it came out before Captain America did.
Oh, well, if that's the case, pretty sure she's going to wait. Although that movie, the whole thing is, I think in some ways it really kind of felt like the second one of these revisited, or as we may think of them as the X-Men decade movies, because it's 60s, 70s, and 80s basically are the times displayed for us. Because then theoretically the 90s we kind of saw, I guess, or I don't know. Anyway, with these with the decade movies though, it's just I think the first one was interesting but wasn't as great as Days of Future Past.
Yeah, and First Class was good because it also kind of like helped cleanse our palate of X-Men 3.
Yeah, or you mean the one that I refused to ever even see?
Yeah, the one that never happened.
Well, but that's after Days of Future Past, it hasn't, Trent.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Like everything's different from and that was one of the coolest things about that movie is just when Logan shows up and he's like, yeah, last thing I remember, basically anything after 73, no. That ain't me no more. I remember something else. And I just love that then Patrick Stewart just takes just a moment and says, welcome back.
Yeah,
because he knows where he just came from, and it's like, well, son of a. Because I'm sure up until that point, you have to realize that for that Charles Xavier, he's got to wonder: was this a real thing, or was it just a schizoid embolism inside of Wolverine?
Yeah, from this guy that's been hooked up to more machines and zapped with shit.
Well, and plus, in Days of Future Past, they also got to play off of the very brief Wolverine cameo in the 60s, where literally all he does is he just says the words "fuck off."
Yes. Oh my God, which is one of the best parts of the whole film.
It is. And then in the second one, it becomes, the way they connected the two films together was great. But also my whole point about Days of Future Past is that it almost seemed like a love letter in a way to Bryan Singer for his original movies before this horrible third one happened.
Right.
And he was able to let that one exist, but also cut it out of continuity within one fail swoop.
Yeah, and do it tastefully.
Yeah, he really did. It really went well. So if you haven't had a chance to watch the Rogue cut, hey, if you can rent it, do that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'll have to check that out. I'm actually interested in seeing that.
Yeah, because really, I got to tell you, up until like the middle point, it's the same movie.
Yeah.
On either end, it's just that little bit in the middle there. Plus, I don't really think. Nope, never mind. I'd say they're the same after that. All I know is that the depressing thing about that movie, Days of Future Past, is it always feels like it ends and you want more right there and then.
Mm-hmm.
And
but that's good. That's like the first 2 acts of Civil War. You're afraid that it's going to end right there.
True, and then it does not. It continues. Way to bring it back into context, Trent. I appreciate that. By referencing a comic movie to a comic movie, I think we've closed the loop on this one pretty much.
I think we did. I think we done good. We done good, boss.
We did. Now I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get me some of them Pokemon.
Oh,
well, I gotta go to the grocery store, so as long as I'm there.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might as well catch them all.
Exactly. And on that note, folks, until next time, my name is Will.
I'm Trent.
You've been listening to another edition of NetHeads. Only one place you can find it. Where is that, Trent?
Smodcast.com.
That's not really true, but that is where it is. Bye.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. Signing off. I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it. NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.
I got to tell you, one of the funniest things I've seen about the whole Pokemon Go thing.
Uh-huh.
I mean, just like in a passing thing, I think it was Matt Cohen had a tweet. He said, or on Facebook, and what he said was, to those of you that are naming your Pokemon, you guys have got to realize this is not a game.